Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to learn the application of sine rule, cosine rule, and to find the area of the triangle using the sine. So let us quickly start with the sine rule. The sine rule, the cosine rule, these two rules can be used in any triangles which are not in the shape of a right angle triangle. They can also be used in right angle triangles, but most of the time we use them in obtuse triangle or scalene triangles. So let us start with the first one. This is a triangle ABC. Usually we write the angles in capital letters and the sides we usually write it as small letters. Now you can see the sides are not being named. So the naming is very important here. Now opposite to angle A is a side BC. So I'm going to write the side as small a. And for angle B, the side opposite to angle B is side AC, so I'm going to write it as small b. And opposite to angle C is the side AB, so I'm going to write it as small c. So this is the first thing you need to write in a sine rule. So angles are given, so name their opposite sides. Now the way we write the sine rule is sine of angle A over its opposite side, which is A, equals sine of angle B over its opposite side, which is B, equals sine of angle C over its opposite side, which is side C. You can also write it as side A divided by sine A equals side B divided by sine B equals side C divided by sine C. So you can take its reciprocal also. That also is fine. Now this is what is your sine rule. This is what you have to remember. Now let us try for another triangle I have drawn over here. So first we start by marking its opposite sides. So let us start with angle P. So side opposite to angle P is QR. So we write it as small p. The side opposite to angle Q is PR. So we write it as small q. And the side opposite to the angle R is side PQ. So we write it as small r. Now for this one we can write it the same way, that is sine of angle P over the side P, its opposite side, equals sine of angle Q over side Q, which is its opposite side, equals sine of angle R over small r, which is its opposite side. So this is how we write the sine rule. Now one of the most important questions I get from my students is where and how do we know we have to use the sine rule or the cosine rule. So you have to just remember 2 points whenever you are going to solve the examples using sine rule. That is, whenever you look at the triangle, you have to see if the triangle has 2 sides and an angle opposite to one of these sides is given. For example, if this is the triangle ABC and there are 2 sides given like 7 and 9. So you have to see if 2 sides in a triangle are given and an angle opposite to one of these sides. So either this angle should be given, like for example 30 degrees because it is opposite to side 7, or you could be given an angle which is opposite to 9, for example 35 degrees. So whenever you are going to solve an example using sine rule, make sure that it has at least 2 sides and one of the opposite angles is given. Or the second thing you can observe is 2 angles and a side opposite to one of these angles is given. So if I'm taking another triangle X, Y and Z, see in this triangle that at least 2 angles are given. So for example, if this is given as 40 degrees and this is given as 50 degrees. Then one of the sides opposite to these two angles should be given. So either this side YZ, which is opposite to 40 degrees, is given. So let me take it as 8 meters for example, or the side XY need to be given, which is opposite to 50 degrees. So remember where we can use the sine rule. Either two sides and one angle opposite to the side is given, or two angles and one side opposite to one of these angles is given. Then you should be using the sine rule. Now once we have got to know the rules, let us start solving some examples on the sine rule. Finding sides. Work out the value of x in the following diagram. So as you can see in the question, they haven't mentioned whether you should use sine rule or cosine rule. So the thing comes, you should understand whether you should be using sine rule or cosine rule here. So we can see two angles are given and a side opposite to the angle is given. We are supposed to find another side which is opposite to the other angle. So let me start quickly giving some names here. So I'll give it as A, B and C. It's a good practice to name the triangles, it will be helpful. So if this is angle A, this becomes the side A because it is opposite to this angle. If this is angle B, this becomes side B, and this is angle C, so this becomes side C. So let me write down the sine rule, which is given as sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over side C. Now let us start substituting the values. So we have sine, and angle A is given to us in the diagram, which is 60 degrees, over the side A, which is 7, equals sine of angle B, which is 80 degrees, over side B, which we have to find, which is x. Now you can see the angle C is not given in the diagram and side C is not given, so we can just discard it. We do not need it. So this is allowed in sine rule. Whichever is not given to you the information, you can just cancel that term off. So you're left with these two terms. I'm going to use the cross multiplication method here. So it's going to be x times sine 60. So x times sine 60 equals 7 times sine 80. So 7 times sine 80. Let me put it in the bracket. So we are going to find the x. So making x as the subject, we write it as x equal to 7 times sine 80 divided by sine 60. That is, use a calculator to calculate the value of x. So we have 7 multiplied with sine 80 divided by sine 60. We get it as 7.96. So x value is given as 7.96. So this is the value of x, which is the missing side. This is how we use the sine rule to find the side of a triangle. Now let us look at the next question, that is finding the angles. So here again we have to see whether we have to use the sine rule or cosine rule. Cosine rule I'll be teaching you later on in this video. So here, as we know that for a sine rule we should have two sides and an angle opposite to one of the sides, or we should be having two angles and one of the sides need to be given. So here we can see that angle A is given, that is what we need to find out, and its opposite side is given, and angle 75 is given and its opposite side is also given. So we can directly use the sine rule and write it as sine of A over its opposite side, which is 8, equals sine of 75 degrees and its opposite side is 10. As you can see, I have not named the triangle, so you can directly also use it this way to save time. And since the third angle is not given and the third side is not mentioned, no need to take the sine C over C. Now again we are going to do the cross multiplication over here. So it becomes 10 multiplied with sine A equals 8 multiplied with sine 75. So since we have to find the angle A, we'll keep the sine A on one side equals 8 times sine 75 over 10. So let us quickly calculate it and see how much we get. We have 8 times sine 75 divided by 10. So this is in a third form you have got, so you can click on SD to get it as a decimal, 0.7727. So take at least 4 digits after the decimal point. So 0.7727. Next thing, we have to just find the value of A. So we are going to send the sign on the other side, so it becomes A equals sine inverse of 0.7727. So let us see how much it turns out to be. So shift sign of answer gives as 50.6. So this angle is 50.6 degrees. We have got the angle which was missing. So this is how we find the angle and the sides using the sine rule. Now this is the second rule, which is the cosine rule. You can see I have drawn two triangles here, ABC and PQR, and let me explain you using one of the triangles first. As we had done in the sine rule, we are going to name the sides of this triangle, and it is going to be the same way as it was for the sine rule. So if this is angle A, the opposite side is side A, and if this is angle B, the side opposite to it is side B, and if this is angle C, the side opposite to it is side C. Now the cosine rule is very easy to remember, just if you remember how the letters are going to be in a loop. So for example, A, B, C. So after A comes B and after B comes C. So this is all you need to remember. Now see how I am going to write the cosine rule. I am going to start with the side A. So I am going to write it as A squared equals, now it goes to B, which is B squared, plus it goes to the next letter. After B comes C, so I'm going to write it as C square minus 2 times these two sides, which is 2 times B times C, times cos of, since we have considered the side A here, so it's going to be cos of angle A. Remember, this 2BC cos A should be one single term. Now this is one way of writing it. Now suppose they ask you to find a side B. So let me start with the side B here. So B square is equal to, after B comes C, so it is C squared plus, after C in the loop comes A squared minus, the pattern remains the same, so it is 2CA times cos of angle B. Because side B is asked, its opposite angle needs to be written over here. and this becomes one single term. Now for example, in the question side C is asked. So we are going to start with side C. So C squared equals, after C comes A, so it is A squared, plus after A comes B, B squared, minus 2AB cos of angle C. So if you remember one of the three forms, it will be very easy for you to solve the example. And if angle is asked by chance, you just need to rearrange this exact whole thing. So whenever the angle is asked, I'll teach you how to do it when we are solving the examples. Now let us look at this triangle PQR. So first we are going to start by marking the opposite sides. So this is side P. For angle Q, this is side Q, and for angle R, this is side R. So if the side P is asked, we are going to write it as P square equals. So you can just make a small loop here. After P comes Q, and after Q comes R, and after R is P. So you can just write it like this. So P square equals Q square plus R square minus 2QR cos of angle P. Because side P is given, you need to take cos of P. Put it together. So if Q is asked, again Q square equals R square plus P square minus 2RP cos of angle Q. And finally, you might have guessed, if it is for R square, we are going to start with P square plus followed by Q square minus 2PQ cos of angle R. So this is the way we write the cosine rule. Now before we could start with the examples, again, when are we going to use the cosine rule? So we use the cosine rule when we are given two sides and the included angle between them. So for example, this is a triangle X, Y and Z. And let me write its opposite sides. X, this is Y and this is Z. At least two sides should be given in a triangle. So for example, these two sides are given as 8 and 9. So two sides are given and an included angle is in between them. So these are the two sides, and between these two sides this angle has to be given in the question. So probably this will be 30 degrees. So if you see two sides and an angle in between the two sides, we can go for the cosine rule. This is the first rule. Or the second is, for example, there is another triangle PQR. All the three sides will be given. So 8, 9 and 12. So you can see all the three sides are given. So they may ask you to find angle P, or they will ask you to find angle Q or angle R. So remember, cosine rule can be used if two sides and an included angle between them is given, or three sides are given. So keeping these two rules in mind, let us go for finding the sides. Now the question says, find the value of the length x in the given figure below. Again, it is not mentioned whether we should be using sine rule or cosine rule. But here we can see there are two sides given, 10 and 6, and the angle between them is given, that is 55. That means we have to go for cosine rule. So before we can start solving this, let me give the names as A, B and C. And since this is angle A, this becomes side A. Since this is angle B, this becomes side B. And this is angle C, this becomes side C. And you can see they have asked the side B. So I am going to start with the loop here, A, B and C. and it starts with B because side B is asked. So B to C, C to A, it goes this way. So I'm going to write it as B square is equal to C square plus A square minus 2 times CA cos of angle B. Since side B is asked, we are going to use cos B. Remember to take this as one common term. Now let us start substituting the values. B is x, so B square becomes x square equals C is 10, so C square is 10 square plus A is 6, so 6 square minus 2 times C is 10, A is 6 into cos of angle B is 55. So let us start substituting these directly in the calculator. So we get here as 10 square plus 6 square minus, remember to put a bracket, 2 times 10 times 6 times cos 55. So we get the value as 67.17. So 67.17. Now this is the x square, but since we need to find the value of x, so x equals square goes on the other side and becomes square root of 67.17. Let us see how much is the square root of this term. So square root of answer gives us 8.195. So we get it as 8.195 meters. So this is how we find the side using the cosine rule. Now let us find the angles using the cosine rule. So here the question says find the value of theta in the diagram given below. Now again they haven't mentioned using sine rule or cosine rule, so we have to start thinking about the rules. Here we can see in this triangle all the 3 sides are given and an angle is asked. So if all the 3 sides are given, we are going to use the cosine rule. So before we can proceed, let us just mark the sides. So angle P is over here, so side opposite to it is 10, so this is side P. Now for angle Q, 15 is the opposite side, so this becomes side Q. And to angle R, the side opposite is 7, so this becomes side R. Now since the angle Q is asked, we are going to start with its opposite side, which is Q. So if we start with Q, we are going to continue with, so it is P, Q and R. So remember, this is the loop, P, Q and R. So if we are starting with Q, so let me write the cosine rule. Q square equals, it goes to R square and then it goes to P square minus 2RP cos of angle Q. Since the side Q is taken, we are going to have the angle Q, and we chose Q side because it's opposite to the angle we need, which is theta over here, and this entire thing is one term. Let us start substituting the values here. Q is 15, so Q square becomes 15 square equals R is 7, so 7 square plus P is 10, so 10 square minus, in the bracket, 2 times R is 7, P is 10 times cos Q is theta, so cos theta. Now 15 square is 225, 7 square is 49 and 10 square is 100 minus 2 times 7 is 14, 14 times 10 is 140, so it is 140 times cos theta. Let us further simplify this. this is 225 equals 49 plus 100 is 149 minus 140 times cos theta. Remember, this is one entire term, you cannot separate it. So now in further simplification we are going to take the 149 on this side, so it becomes 225 minus 149 equals minus 140 times cos theta. Now we have to make cos theta as the subject, so we keep cos theta on one side and we write it as 225 minus 149 divided by minus 140. So this is multiplied with cos theta, so when it goes on the other side it becomes divided. So let us put this value in the calculator and check. We have 225 minus 149 divided by minus 140. So we get it as minus 0.5428. So it is minus 0.5428. Since we have to find only the theta in this question, we are going to take the cos on the other side. So theta will be equal to cos inverse of the answers 0.5429. It is a negative answer. So let us put in the calculator and check. Here it is shift cos, so cos inverse of answer gives us 122.87. So 122.87 degrees, or we can round it as 122.9 degrees. So this is the way we can find out the angles using the cosine rule. Now let us look at finding the area of a triangle using the sine. It's not the sine rule, it's just using the sine. So here you can see I have drawn a triangle ABC. So again I will start by marking its sides. So the side opposite to angle A is BC, the side opposite to angle B is AC, and the side opposite to angle C is AB. Now once I write this, the only thing you have to remember is the area of triangle. So area of triangle is given as half AB sine C. It means that AB are the two sides and the angle has to be in between these two sides. So you can see the angle C is right in between the side A and side B. This is very important for you to understand. This area of triangle formula can also be changed and it could be written as a half BC. Now since we took the side B and C, now the angle between the side B and C is angle A. So we can write it as sine A. Or it can also be written as a half AC sine of, since we considered the side A and side C, the angle in between these two sides is B. So sine B. So area of triangle has different forms. The format is same, but the letters can be changed. This is very important for you to understand. Now let us look at an example here. A triangle PQR is given and we have to find out the area of the triangle PQR. Area of triangle PQ and R. So this is angle P, so opposite to it is the side P. This is angle Q, opposite to that is side Q. And this is angle R, so opposite to it is side R. Now here if they have asked us to find the area of the triangle, we have to write it as half. Now look at the two sides which are given. So this is R and Q. So we have QR and sine of the angle between Q and R, that is P. So we write it as sine P. So you can see the format is same, half AB sine C or half BC sine A. So the format remains same, but the letters will change according to whatever is given. So here we just write it as half times Q is given as 4 times R is given as 6 times sine of the angle between the two sides, sine 60 degrees. So let us check how much we get in the calculator. I'm going to multiply all the numerators first. So 4 times 6 times sine 60 divided by 2. So we get it as 6 root 3. Since it is a third, we can also get it as a decimal, that is 10.39. So we got the answer here as 10.39 unit square, or here since meter is given, so the area becomes a meter squared. This is how we use the area of triangle formula. So if you're liking my videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.